For almost 19 years of my life, I had such bad constipation. I never had a single regular bowel movement. I absolutely hated myself, hated my body, had like body dysmorphia. My mood is pretty much stable now. My well-being is just like stable and my energy is stable. Everything is just, it's not like way up here. I'm not like riding a high. I'm just stable and it just feels good.
G'day, guys. Welcome back to another episode. Today we've got the lovely Jessalyn Randle coming all the way from Japan.
Yep, Okinawa, Japan.
Gorgeous. The place that's apparently got one of the highest lifespan in the world, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in the blue zones.
In the blue zones, which apparently the blue zones eat a lot of meat, which is very interesting. We might go into that a bit later, but I wanted to introduce to Jessalyn first, if you don't already know her. Jessalyn, can you share a little bit about who you are and what you do, and then how did you come to eating, carnivore in the way you are and doing this lifestyle?
Yeah, well, as you said, I'm Jessalyn Randle, but Jess is fine. I am a military wife. That's why I am in Okinawa, Japan right now. My husband's in the army, and I also am a college student currently getting my degree in journalism and mass communication. I have a little less than a year left before I finish, and we'll be here for about 2 more years, and who knows after that. And carnivore. How I got into carnivore is I saw the Joe Rogan Sean Baker podcast, as many people do. That's a lot of people's similar stories. And Sean Baker made a lot of sense, so I decided to try it. I did it for 30 days in World Carnivore Month, January 2020, and kind of never looked back after that.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a classic, the Sean Baker, Joe Rogan thing. I think it definitely got a lot of people into this for whatever reasons they did. What got you into it though? Like some people come from autoimmune problems, health issues, gut issues. They literally can't eat anything else except for meat without reacting. Like how did you get into it?
Mine is very TMI. Mine is gut issues. So I was had really bad constipation um, issues my whole entire life. So for almost 19 years of my life, I had such bad constipation. I never had a single regular bowel movement. I did not, and I grew up in I was born in 1991, so I grew up in the 90s where you still didn't really talk about poo publicly or with your family or anything like that. So I thought that was normal. I thought everyone was dealing with what I was dealing with, so I didn't talk to anyone about it. No doctor ever asked me about anything like that. So I dealt with it, and then when I was 19, I went gluten free, and that helped a lot, but I still had some issues. But yeah, my major issue was constipation and gut issues, which is interesting because you always hear that meat rots in your colon, and half the internet thinks that you're gonna just be like constipated if you just eat meat, and it was the exact opposite for me. Or not the exact opposite, but the opposite. I don't have diarrhea now. Oh my God.
That's good. That's good. It's an interesting thing to you like. That's not what your everyday person would say. Is like, I want to do an all meat diet because I can't poop. It's like, but it's interesting because I've heard that from actually a few people where they've improved it on that scale. Like some people do it because they're IBS, they go 4 to 5 times a day. And then some people do it because they can't go 4 or 5 times even a week. So yeah, that's cool. And we're all about poo and talking about all sorts of things here because it's like, we don't talk about it, so where else can we talk about it, right?
Yeah, and it's crazy because, like you said, the carnivore diet or lion diet, whatever you choose, it fixes what you're dealing with,
Yeah.
no matter where on the spectrum you're at. It's just it heals your gut. So whatever kind of healing you need, it'll provide that for you. So it's so that we're all different, but the diet adapts to like what you need because it healed things for you that were completely different for you than what I was dealing with, but it healed both of us, and it's amazing like that.
I've said it many times. Literally, the best thing that I did for my health was embarking on this journey, and it sounds like the same thing for you, eh?
Yeah, 100%. I love it.
Yeah, so what's changed in your life since you started doing this? Like, were you making because you're making content on the carnivore diet, you make she makes great videos for anyone that hasn't seen her stuff, and she makes like some of them are really like really fun, and then some push like poke the hornet's nest or whatever that phrase is. Like they're super fun, and she does a really great job of that. But like, were you making content before you did this, or did you just start sharing your journey after? Like, what did that look like?
Yeah, I didn't really do much content before. I would just do the normal Instagram stuff where you're just posting pictures of your life for your five friends. Uh, and then, so I was carnivore for about 2 years almost before I started actually seriously posting about it with the intention of trying to be like a carnivore page. Um, because it was like not something you talked about. It was weird. It's like weird to just eat meat, and but it was something that I was really, it was helping me a lot. So eventually I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take this seriously. I'm gonna try to post seriously about this. So yeah, pre carnivore is the my carnivore content is my first like actual trying content.
Yeah, amazing. And you said 2 years in. So how many years you been doing this for?
Over 3 years. So since
3 years.
January 2020, yeah.
That's amazing. It's you. Have you seen like a growth over those couple of years in like the movement and how many people are getting into it?
Yeah, definitely. Because I didn't actually know that there was other carnivores online. I just figured that people saw the Sean Baker thing and I tried it and I kind of knew other people were trying it, but I started following carnivore hashtags and then started realizing, oh my gosh, there's people actually like really posting about it online. So that kind of motivated me to start posting more too, because I didn't really know there was a community. And then I found it and just got completely immersed into it. And the carnivore community is so nice, as you know, because you kind of got thrown into it as well. Everyone's so nice and so welcoming, and I feel like I've made lifelong friends and that I've never even met in person. So yeah, I definitely have seen it growing, which is cool because I think when you see other people doing it, you're more inclined to do it, like what was my story. So the more that we get content out there, I feel like the more content we're gonna get because we're gonna inspire more people. So it's like it's just like a snowball effect.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that in the, like I'm pretty new to I've been obviously doing content for a while, but around this stuff in a very short space, and I've noticed that there are lots more people that are sharing their journey as well, and I think it's like that ripple effect where it's like one person shares, oh, I cured this chronic weird thing and now I'm sharing this, and then someone else is like, oh, it's like the perfect MLM, but the only benefits people get are like health, and there's no top of the pyramid, you know.
Yeah, I know. That is also, that's a good way to look at it. But that's kind of how life is though, because if you think about it, everything's kind of word of mouth. Like if you think of everything you've ever tried or everything you've ever bought or done, you've heard someone else talk about it and you thought it was interesting and wanted to try it. So social media just puts that on like a whole nother level.
It's true. I mean, the media, the normal nutrition institutions, like they're not going to tell us anything about that, you know? Like they don't go anywhere near this. And I see a lot of comments on my videos. It's like, there's not enough research proving this. It's like, well, there is research that's out there, but maybe there should be more. If these many people are getting these many results, shouldn't there be more research, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think because it does go against the mainstream and the science or the nutrition industry and research and stuff like that, it seems to be very clicky and whatever is hot and trending is kind of where the money goes. And if you're researching something that's not the trendy thing to research, you're not going to get money to research it. So I think we have a lot of responsibility to make it something that people can't ignore. And the more that we share stories anecdotally, the more that people have a harder time to ignore it. Because, yeah, a couple stories here and there are great, but if there's thousands upon thousands of people healing from just eating meat and cutting out the junk out of their diet, eventually some research is going to need to be done just to see what is happening. So I think that that's another reason why we need to keep inspiring people to share their own experience and their own stories with it, and to be honest. If it didn't work for you, or if you got bad results or something like that, like share that too, because I think you agree, like we're not trying to create a cult. We're trying to actually see what's happening and see why people are healing, why some people aren't healing, and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've got the basis for a good cult. Like, I think it'd be a good one to be a part of, but yeah, we don't really want to go there. I think it would put people off.
Yeah, I think we'd be a nice cult, I think. I don't think we'd be a mean cult. The only mean thing we do is kill animals.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the other food cult does as well, right? So we're no
Oh,
different.
yeah, yeah. We all do. We
Yeah.
all kill animals.
Were you ever in the vegan thing? Or,
No, I was never vegan, because I think I always kind of thought veganism was a moral issue. I never really looked at veganism as a healthy thing. I knew fruits and vegetables were healthy because that's what you're told. So I had no issue eating fruits and vegetables, but I never understood the argument to cut out meat completely. And I never was morally against killing animals, because I was raised religiously, so I was taught from a young age that animals were here for us. Like God provided animals for us to eat. So it was never a moral issue with me. But I did get into like I was heavily plant-based before, to where I was eating tons and tons of fruits and vegetables because I was told it was healthy, and I would only eat white meat fish and white meat chicken, and that was it. But I never went full vegan.
so interesting, hey, how we're told to eat all these foods that are supposed to be good for us, but then a lot of people that go carnivore literally cut pretty much all of that out and then just eat the stuff that we're told that is not good for us and
Hmm.
thrive. Because you like, what do you eat in a day at the moment? Like, what's your kind of your diet look like?
I am so boring, and I still pretty much am doing the lion diet. I think like what you're doing too. I'm like 90% like beef, and just every now and then I'll have eggs and fish and pork. But I did add in decaf coffee back, and dairy, because I'll put heavy cream in my coffee. But right now, I pretty much just eat hamburger patties with butter and drink decaf coffee with heavy cream. And I'll do that for for a very long time. I when I find something I like, I will eat it for maybe like months at a time, and then get tired of it, and then switch to something else, and then stick with that for weeks or months, and then maybe try something new. Like I am very easy to please when it comes to food, especially on the carnivore diet. Like if you just put beef in front of me, I'll eat it.
I'm the same. I get all these comments. People are like, "This looks like the most boring diet in the world." It's like, don't knock it till you try it. And at first, it's a bit like, this is kind of like, should I be eating something else? I feel like I should. But then when you're like a month deep, at least, like I'm sure you're the same. I know you haven't had brekkie yet, but it's like I think about meat and salt, and I'm so pumped. And
Yeah.
you, yeah,
That was an interesting thing when I first started, was because you always have a plate typically, and you have your main dish and then your sides. And it was such a weird thing for me to adjust to not having any sides and just having meat on my plate. And it didn't look full and it didn't look complete, but you definitely get used to it, to now where I see when I see sides, I'm like, oh, that's so weird. And my thinking has like completely switched on that. And I'm the same way. I crave beef and salt every single day, and I don't get tired of it. And but it is like boring. Like I don't want to lie to people and tell people that it's this exciting thing. Like I'm not trying new things every single day. I'm literally eating hamburger patties with butter every single day. But it's I guess boring isn't the right word. I guess simple is a better word. It's just very simple. Like I don't need to eat the rainbow. I don't need to go try a new restaurant every night. I don't need to do all of these things. I just want to have my burgers and my butter and love it and enjoy it, and then go on with my day.
that's it. You don't have to think much at all. I love that about it. I love the whole minimalist tech, founder type thing where they wear the same shirt every day and they eat the same thing. And this fits very well into that for me as well. It's very handy. You live in Japan, right? And you're there, and I see a lot of your stories and videos where you go out to eat at different places. Like myself, I don't go out to eat, and if I do, I eat before I go out, and my family know that, or people I'm out with, they know that I'm not eating. I might have maybe sparkling water, but like I don't eat out at all. It might be different once I start going out a little bit more, but I can't see it. But I know you eat out at like beautiful restaurants and stuff like that. How do you do that? How do you order? What can you eat out there?
I lucked out because we there's a place called Yakiniku here, which is I think Japanese barbecue or Korean barbecue. I'm not sure which, but it's where you grill the food in front of you, and it is amazing because there's just a grill and they bring you raw meat. And you can just choose the raw meat that you like, cook it to your liking, and eat it. So that's pretty simple and a pretty good carnivore option. Uh, I can't order everything on the menu because there's a lot of meat that comes with sauces that are teriyaki or soy or something, so they'll have gluten in them and sugar and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll just get the meat that I know I can have that doesn't come with anything and just cook it. So that I lucked out with that one. The other restaurants I go to, I just have to I'll get a steak or something, and if it probably is cooked in seed oils, but I just have to like deal with that, and I don't do that very often. But I'm not as sensitive. Like if you did that, you probably would get like a much more serious reaction than I do. Um, so it's not as serious for me, but I don't do it often.
Got it. Yeah, I'm definitely on the sensitive spectrum. Unfortunately, like I'm so happy when I hear people that are not sensitive in any way, where like a bit of seed oil or something doesn't affect. So that's really cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, it is tricky eating out when you
Mhm.
are so sensitive. But it's good that you can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think my ultimate goal is I don't want to be scared of food, and I don't want to be like put in a box. So I do want to eventually branch out, and I know you're trying new foods too and seeing what works for you. And you like sauerkraut, right? You've incorporated sauerkraut, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I do want to eventually start incorporating more foods. I'm definitely not going to like become a seed oil addict or anything like that, but I don't want to fear things. And I think that our bodies are resilient, as we know, because I mean, we're both in our 30s, and so we were killing our bodies for like decades, and we still were surviving, you know. So I think our bodies are resilient, and if you let your body heal, just having foods every now and then that aren't perfect and clean and the best thing that you can eat, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, in my opinion. I know a lot of carnivores will probably try to take my carnivore card for that one, but I eventually do want to branch out.
I think it's really fair to do that, because I mean, for some people this is a forever thing and they're like, cool, I'm set here, but I don't think there's anything wrong with using it as a launch pad. And in fact, I think it's the best launch pad. I'm like in the process of writing a video about doing an elimination diet, and literally there's nothing else out there like that except for basically carnivore, maybe the GAPS diet, but like really, like if we really go down to it, carnivore, even line diet is like perfect because literally, okay, this works and let's see what doesn't, and then you try things, and if it doesn't work then you flick it or you try it later. Like it's so simple, and it's yeah, I think it's the only elimination diet that you could safely live off for a long period of time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's true because you can basically get anything that, or all the essential vitamins and minerals and stuff like that that you need from ruminant animals, I believe. Maybe like you might need to add in like couple of supplements, but like for the most part, yeah, I think you can pretty much survive just on ruminant animals.
It's pretty cool. It's
Yeah.
amazing. I'm rereading the Gut and Physiology Syndrome book, the from Natasha Campbell McBride, the GAPS book. And there's the section on the carnivore GAPS diet, and it's really interesting. And she talks about how she's had like clients, or not customers, patients that she's worked with that like even more sensitive to me, where you introduce a drop of like plants, literally a drop of something, and they have full blown reactions, and
Yeah.
even drops of egg or this sort of thing. And so they have to be on this carnivore gaps thing. And like 4 years they're on it. But what she discovered is that you can get even carbohydrates through an animal based diet through the glycogen that's in the meat and the organs and in the connective tissue. And you can get gut flora through that as well. So you don't need fiber or plant matter. You can get literally everything you need. And 4 years on, zero mineral deficiencies, no deficiencies, anything, and completely reversing ulcerative colitis, Crohn's, all these weird, crazy, fun sort of things. So it's
Yeah.
definitely like I think there needs to be more research to go into it, but I think that they're a bit scared to touch it.
Yeah, and I think too, it's because people, a lot of times people online will tell me this is an eating disorder. You have an eating disorder. And so, because you're restricting all these foods. But I think when people say that, they don't realize how sensitive some people are to foods. Because, like, if you tell someone who is as sensitive as you're saying that they have an eating disorder because they're not eating something, it's like, no, I'm not eating it because it literally causes me harm. That's not an eating disorder. So I think that just the mindset around it kind of needs to change too, because the whole restricting certain foods is kind of portrayed as a type of eating disorder, and we're told eat everything in moderation, have those Oreos, treat yourself, drink some alcohol, have some fun, and they don't understand how much damage that can actually do to some people, where we're all on like we all have different sensitivities, where you're more sensitive than I am, but I'm more sensitive than my husband, who can have pizza and beer and these things and not get any sort of reaction. So it's, you can't just tell everyone blanketly that they can just have everything in moderation, and that also isn't taking into account food addiction also, because you can't just tell someone who's addicted to sugar or carbs just to have it in moderation, because that can't happen. So I think changing the mindset around that too is really important. Of this isn't an eating disorder. I saw a really good quote too where it said, I don't have an eating disorder. It I just respect myself. Like, it was self-respect. Like, I respect myself too much to not harm myself. And I thought that was a good way to look at it.
That's very true. It's one of those things because some people will. I don't know if you've had people have a go at you where they say you're promoting an eating disorder, or what about the people that have eating disorders? You know, how about have you thought about them? And people will come to this conclusion eventually for themselves, whenever that might be, or not. But I'm the same, where I believe that if you know love yourself enough, then you will give yourself what you need. And I feel like whenever someone says eating disorder, I just imagine someone sitting there on the couch, you know, feeling horrible, eating, you know, Doritos or something like that, and you know they've got all their health problems, and they're sitting there saying you've got an eating disorder, you know, like. So it's, we don't classify eating processed food as an eating disorder, do we? That's normal. But I
Mhm.
think it's the other way around.
Yeah, definitely. I got a comment once that said you're promoting a dangerous something dangerous for young kids to copy or something like that. And I get
Yeah.
reported all the time for dangerous misinformation, and I'm sure you do too, but I get people, you don't? I get
I've
people.
never been reported.
Oh my gosh, I get
Yeah.
so many comments. I've reported this for dangerous misinformation, blocking you, reporting. I get so many comments of report this girl for misinformation. This is an eating disorder. This is dangerous. So many things like that. I'm eating about 2 pounds of meat a day. I'm not starving myself. I am full. I eat when I'm hungry. I stop when I'm full. I feel amazing. My health issues are gone. Um, and I am sharing my story with other people, and just showing people that this is an option. And you're telling me that I'm promoting dangerous information, misinformation, but no one gives a hoot when someone is just eating like broccoli for a month to lose weight or to fit into a dress, or doing like some weird juice cleanse. Like, that can be promoted all day long because, like you said, that's considered normal. But God forbid I have a 16-ounce ribeye, like then I have an eating disorder somehow. It's so interesting.
Isn't it? We live in a crazy place, honestly. It just, but so things surprise me, but they also don't. It's just, it's nuts.
Yeah, you
What's
can't.
the culture like? Oh, sorry, you go.
I was just gonna say you can't save everyone. Some people get it
No,
and some people won't. Like we all came to the same conclusion by we were desperate um, and looking for answers, and this came up, and we gave it a shot, and it helped us, and now we're sharing our story. And some people will get it, and some people won't.
that's right. And I have zero hesitation saying this thing is not working, or I'm feeling crap about doing this and that sort of thing. So I think having that openness, I think, is helpful. And I'm sure the same would happen for you. If you didn't feel amazing, you would be like, you know what, I'm not feeling amazing.
Yeah. And I'm not scared to try new things. Like if I think eventually I'll start adding in a little carbs because I work out a lot and see how that impacts me and see do I actually feel better with a little bit of carbs when I'm extremely active, or is carnivore enough for me? Because carnivore has been enough for the past 3 years, but I'm not against trying new things and seeing new things. I'm not going to be like dogmatic about it just to like get to prove that I'm right about something, But this is working for me and it has for over 3 years now, so I am going to be honest about that.
What would your first carbs be if you were to have them?
Well, I do it like every 4 to 6 months. It's like very weird. Like it'll come like clockwork, where it's like 4 to 6 months, I'll crave some blueberries and I'll have some blueberries. But I'm able to moderate because you have moderators and abstainers to where if you have like a food addiction, you're not able to really moderate. But I can have like a bite of something and then be perfectly satisfied. So I'll have like a handful of blueberries and then I'll be satisfied. And then like in about 4 to 6 months again, I'll be like, damn, I really want some blueberries. So I'll probably like something like that, like blueberries. I haven't thought more about it. I pretty much would probably just do blueberries. I like blueberries.
That's cool. That's so funny. So where are you at in your 4 month, 6 month cycle now?
Oh yeah, I just did it. I just had some last month, I think.
Okay. 3 more months, we'll check in.
Yeah, yeah. But it's so weird. And then I'm like satisfied and I don't want it. But then like it'll come again and I'm like, I could really go for some blueberries. And my husband's not carnivore, so and he
Mhm.
makes smoothies with like his protein powder and stuff like that. So there's always some blueberries in the fridge for me.
Yeah, right. Cool. How does he go with all this? Like, I know some partners are supportive, some are not. How's he go with you doing all this?
He's actually the one that showed me the Sean Baker, Joe Rogan podcast. He found it
Oh,
because I thought that I was just doomed. I was just destined to have the health issues that I had. And he's much smarter than me, so he started doing research and looking into it actually, and found that podcast and showed it to me and said, hey, just you listen to it and see what you think. I think it could help you. And I listened to it, and he was like, I'll do it with you if you want me to do it with you. And we both did it for World Carnivore Month, and he really liked it too. I think there's a difference between when you have health issues and you do this versus if you don't and you do this, because he felt amazing. He has no complaints about it, but he doesn't have any health issues that is motivating him to stick with it. So he'll eat the pizza and he'll have alcohol and the sugar and the ice cream and feel completely the same. Like get a little bloated and discomfort, because you're eating all those carbs, so that's natural, but it's not debilitating. So I definitely think like when people do try this, I think it helps, I guess. It sucks, but it kind of helps if you have a health issue that keeps you motivated to stick with it. Because I'm sure it would be incredibly difficult to stick with this if I could eat that ice cream right now and I'm not going to feel really like poop. But versus someone who, like you said, gets a drop of plant and then they have like some sort of breakout or something.
yeah. I envy those people. Yeah, I envy the ones that have a furnace. I did a poll once on YouTube. I was like, what are you most intolerant to? And then I put an option for my gut is a furnace. I do not react to anything. And I had way more people select that option than I realized, but because I think I'm so used to not being able to eat things, and so I just assume when I see, literally anytime I see anyone eat anything, I just assume that other people are having reactions and just trying to get on with life, right? I don't know if you feel the same way, but I that's how I used to view it. And now I'm like, oh, there's probably a percentage of people, probably a big one, who knows, that actually feel all right and don't notice anything.
Yeah. And in my experience too, it seems like men generally have more of an iron stomach than women. And I don't know if you've noticed that too, but I mean, at least the men in my life, yeah, like like my dad, my husband, like no issues, can eat whatever they want. I guess my dad, that's not exactly true because he had gout, but my husband, yeah, he yeah, can do whatever he wants and it feels fine. But I don't know. I don't really envy that because I feel like if I was that way, I wouldn't eat this way and I wouldn't be as healthy as I am right now. So I think it's kind of good that I have that like motivating factor that like if I start eating this stuff, like I'm going to get really bad gut issues again and have really bad acne and like get really like mentally like unwell. Like my mental state was not good before carnivore either. So I don't know, part of me is like kind of grateful that I have my body sets those boundaries for me very, very clearly.
Very good point. I mean, in the long term, you're probably better off as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What's your have you had any other sort of benefits besides like the physical thing that have happened for you since switching to this?
Yeah, yeah. The definitely like the mental part of it, which you don't really understand until it happens. Where and no one ever talks about the connection between nutrition and mental health. It's kind of being talked about in the carnivore community and stuff, but mainstream, like the connection between mental health and nutrition is not talked about. Like if you go to the doctor, they don't ever really talk about your diet in general, but it has such a huge impact. And I hated myself before. I absolutely hated myself, hated my body, had like body dysmorphia, was had like waves of like depression to where I would like have good days and then just like absolutely tank. And then I would have like really severe mood swings to where the just the smallest thing could just like make me so angry. And it was just the dumbest, stupidest thing. And I would just get so angry. And my mood is pretty much stable now. And my just well-being is just like stable and my energy is stable. Everything is just it's not like way up here. I'm not like riding a high, but I'm just stable and it just feels good.
I resonate with that so much. That's something that I've noticed. And where, I mean, you go in for the physical, but then you get these other benefits. But my mood is stable. Of course, I'm not perfect, right? But it allows you to be less affected by things and to be more stable. And that is incredible. Imagine if, let's say, half of the people in the world were more stable emotionally. I'm sure we would make much better decisions and do better things and therefore have better results, even just that from the emotional perspective.
Yeah, because you're very easily manipulated when you're emotional, which
Yeah.
like if in politics, if you just think about politics, like when you make an emotional argument, you're much easier. It's much easier to manipulate people to believe what you believe. So just like being able to not make emotional decisions is such a powerful thing. And it's definitely and just being aware too, because when I did the lion diet and I cut out coffee. I was drinking decaf before, but still, when I cut it out, my mood stabilized to where my husband even noticed that I was even better, and it was even like more stable. And then when I added in coffee decaf for the first time, like within 10 minutes, I was like snapping at him, and he was like, "Whoa, like it's what is happening?" And I was like, "I think it might be the coffee." And then I like stopped drinking it, and then I drank it again, and I kind of got irritated again. And he was like, "Yeah, you're not allowed to drink coffee anymore." But I like coffee, so like but it was like just the awareness of having like just knowing like, okay, this makes me like kind of feel like this. It made me able to like control it better too. And before I would have such a hard time like controlling my emotions, and I think that with the way I eat now, like if something like that is pointed out to me, I get an awareness and I'm able to like control it much better. So I still do drink coffee, but now I don't have like these like weird outbursts because I'm like, I know like, okay, this is just the coffee. Just like calm down, control your emotions. And I think that that has helped me a lot too, because am controlling my mind, not the other way around.
Yeah, it's a profound thing to say. I think this is something I'm really learning about a lot more. I mean, it's something we all know, but I think it's different when practiced. But I think, for me at least, when I did started doing this, and now it's shown me maybe behaviors or ways of being that I had before that I wasn't really aware of, because you're so caught up in your health problems, or like weight loss for people, or, going to the toilet for every 4 to 5 times a day, or not going to the toilet and worrying about that. Like, and then once you've solved that first riddle, that first thing, then it allows you to look at other things. Okay, what else is showing up in my life, and what else needs to be worked on. And I think catching yourself is like it's an art. I've not
Yeah.
mastered it, but it's a work in progress.
Yeah, yeah. It definitely like this. It is interesting because this way of eating is kind of like Pandora's box, where you just keep learning and you kind of or you just like dive into the rabbit hole and you just keep learning new things and discovering new things, and we all kind of turn into these like semi biohacker. Like some people take it more extreme than others, but then you start learning about the dangers of blue light and grounding and getting sunlight in your eyes and meditation and journaling and like writing your goals down, and like you start like it becomes more than just nutrition. It becomes definitely like a whole lifestyle thing when you dive into this, because you like you're saying like you feel so good, and then you start like questioning other things in your life and trying to feel better in other ways, and it's cool. It's definitely like a gateway drug to leveling up.
You're absolutely right. I was just speaking with Brandon before this, and he said the same thing. It's literally like a gateway drug to like all sorts of things.
Mm.
Now, I've got another question for you. So, in Australia, in Japan, in US, like every different country, being able to do this diet is a different experience for people. And I'm curious to know, what is it like doing carnivore in Japan? Because I think I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I would assume that most people think Japan, sushi, Japanese food, lots of rice. Is it easy to gain access to good quality stuff there?
Ooh, a good quality, like grass fed, grass finished. Probably, like, I don't. So the Japanese packaging, if I go to a
Yeah.
Japanese store, someone said like maybe their beef is grass fed, grass finished, and I just can't read it. So like maybe that's true. But here I don't have any issues getting beef, and I could get lamb if I wanted to. Some grocery stores have goat. So I do have options. It's definitely not as widespread as the US, to where the US you can do any sort of or subscription box that you want, and you basically have access to anything you could ever imagine. And here it's like I have beef, and I could find some shrimp, like it's possible, but it's not as you're not as spoiled as the US. I think is I don't know what word I'm trying to say, but and there is tons of rice and things like that here. They love their sweets here. um there's not as much sushi as I was expecting. I do live in Okinawa, so I'm mainland. There might be places in mainland that are a little different, but the sushi, and there's not as much sashimi. So they have sushi here, but it's much harder for me to find places that just sell the sashimi, which was surprising, because I don't want the rice, and I don't want to be rude because I'm pretty sure like culturally it's kind of rude to like order something and then like leave food on your plate. So I don't want to go somewhere and just eat the sushi or the fish out of it and leave the rice and everything else. So I kind of steer away from sushi places. Um, but yeah, and the wagyu, like people always assume there's like wagyu like everywhere, like on the street corners here. And I found like one grocery store that has two, like one or two places that has wagyu, but to me it's overpriced and I'd rather just have a regular ribeye. So it's doable, but it's not. I would prefer to live in the United States and be a little more spoiled with my options.
I think definitely in the States, especially, you guys are so spoiled. You have so many treats there, and there are so many carnivore things, and and like you said, the subscription boxes where you can just choose whatever you want, get it delivered every week. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely spoiled.
And I don't think Americans realize like how spoiled they are because people will comment on my stuff and because I primarily eat like people say cheap junk grocery store meat. Like that's what I primarily eat. And they're like just get a subscription. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll get right on that and have it shipped to Okinawa. Like I don't think people realize that it's like not that easy and you are very, very blessed to live in America.
That's so interesting. Thanks for sharing because I've been so curious about what that whole situation looks like. I know I'm not, do you know much about the blue zone stuff at all? Is that something that you've looked into?
I so my question is, do you know if Okinawa is still considered to be in the blue zone, or it was in the past, right? People just like it was when the whole blue zone thing was done back then, Okinawa was one of them. Because that's the only thing I'm wondering about is like, are they still the longest living people currently? Do you know that?
No, I think maybe I need to speak to a blue zone person
Yeah.
because I'm not too sure. Maybe they've fallen out of it. Who knows?
I don't know because their diet is from what I've seen, like it's heavily carb based. Very a lot of sugar, a lot of carbs, like vegetables definitely, and meat. They do like meat. They eat a lot of pork, especially in Okinawa. The pork is so delicious here. It's so good. Um, but very, very carb heavy. So I would be interested to see if they're still some of the longest living people. But the thing about Okinawa is, because where it goes past nutrition and into lifestyle, Okinawa is so chill. So it's not like even going visiting mainland, like mainland is kind of a really clean version of New York where it's exciting. There's people moving around everywhere. It's fast. There's tons of things to look at, but it's very clean and everyone's very nice. But here it's like so chill. People are like even their clothing, like the styles versus mainland versus here, it's so relaxed. It's like island living. Everyone's so nice. The speed limit here, I think the top speed limit's like 60 kilometers per hour or 80 kilometers per hour or something like that, which is like, I think 40 miles per hour or something very, very slow compared to the United States. Um, so like we drive slow, everyone's chill. Like it just seems like stress is much lower here. Everyone's very active too. Like you can go to a park on the weekend and there's just hundreds of families running around catching butterflies and playing sports and just getting together. Tons of cool activities to take your kids to go do. I mean, you live on an island, so everyone's like going to the beach, doing fun things like that. So and there's you always see like older people on like gardening. Like they'll go out and they'll pick up like leaves on the side of the street. That's not even their property, and they'll just clean up the streets and garden the little plants outside and walk to down the street to the restaurant or something like that. So the lifestyle, like that's what makes me think that like lifestyle also has like such a huge impact on your health, not just nutrition, because the lifestyle here is so much different than the United States and even mainland Japan.
That makes so much sense. And if you think about people that live in like the Andes, or I can't remember what the other blue zone places are with the longevity off the top of my head, but I know that even the centenarians are the people that are super old and long living. They do stuff. They're out in the farm, they're gardening. Everyone's got, instead of like sedentary and then you just hit the gym for like an hour, it's like this slow kind of moving throughout the day, always doing things, but also relaxed. Like it just, and that
Yeah.
seems nice. It seems very peaceful.
Yeah, it that is pretty cool here. And your
Mm,
people are like outside like getting sun and stuff like that when it's not raining. It does rain a lot here though, but yeah,
yeah.
it's like a chill. It's a chill place to live.
That's awesome. So I've got a couple more questions for you. So you've got your stuff that you share on Instagram. What's that under again? It's Jessalyn.Randle, is it?
Yes.
Okay, Jessalyn.Randle. And you also have a YouTube channel called Carnivore Revolution. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, that is with my friend Serena, where we will do different carnivore recipes and interview people and just have just light carnivore lifestyle content with me and her. And we do like some coaching too, where we'll help people who are starting out with the carnivore diet if they have questions and things like that. But yeah, it's pretty much just carnivore lifestyle.
The interviews that you guys do are great. Like that one with, oh gosh, is it Sally Norton, the toxic superfoods? That's a
Yeah.
banger. That's a really good one to watch.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And I love that I love talking to people who aren't necessarily carnivore, because she's not really, she supports the like eating meat and things like that. But I just love like the most of the people that are in this community, even if they aren't directly in it, but just like support the meat eating thing. Like we're not necessarily like extremely dogmatic. Like we're open to hearing different things, and like we can I just appreciate that so much, and I hope that it stays like that, to where you can hear different opinions from different people but still kind of stay under the umbrella of uh, protein is like meat, real meat, animal protein is should be like the base of the diet.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you there. It's very inclusive, and I love that. And I love that it's almost like a lot of other people around it kind of respect and know what's being done. They're like, oh, yeah, cool, I get it. Maybe not for me, but I get it. So that's pretty
Mhm.
cool. But you also do a monthly like membership, like you've got a community where you do calls and coaching, and you've got like where people can actually ask questions. Can you tell me a bit more about that? Because that, I think when you're getting started on something like this, is incredibly invaluable to have the support of a community. And I know for myself that if I wasn't posting about this and making friends and creating content, it wouldn't have been as easy.
Yeah, people really underestimate the impact that being a part of a community can have on your journey, and you're just holding you accountable and keeping you motivated and things like that. So that is under the Carnivore Revolution umbrella that I have with my friend Serena. We have a group that we do the monthly health challenges, to where we just kind of challenge, you don't have to be carnivore to be a part of it. We just kind of challenge people to remove seed oils and carbs and processed sugars, things like that, that you can be more keto or paleo, just kind of taking a step in the right direction and kind of helping you figure out what's going to work best for you and be most sustainable for you. Because we didn't want to have a group where you have to do carnivore, you have to do A, B, and C to be a part of this group. We kind of wanted just to help people figure out what they can do for years to come, not just for 30 days. And in our group, we have different topics where we'll like teach you how to track your macros, how to overcome binge eating, and how to, like today we talked about fasting. So we not only like encourage you and provide community and support, but we also want to like provide education for people so that they can feel like they can do this on their own, and they don't have to rely on doing these coaching things indefinitely. Like they have the tools they need to do it on their own and feel confident and make their own decisions, instead of going back to their coach and saying, "Can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this?"
Yeah, I love that. I came in and did a little chat, and your community was so cool, and they're just so lovely. And in the forums there, I had a look as well, and it's like, it's cool to see that people can post and get that support. And if someone's watching this and is wanting the support or to connect or even make friends in this space, like, highly recommend checking out. Where can people find it?
It's in the Mighty Network. It's an app called Mighty Network, and you just have to search for Carnivore Revolution, and it's free to join. The monthly health challenges are those are $50 a month, and we have 6 coaches total, and so you have access to those 6 coaches who are like personal trainers and things like that. So you can ask questions about fitness and stuff too. So that is $50 a month, but the network where you can post, get recipes, share your testimonials, all that is free, and it's just under Carnivore Revolution.
Amazing. And I'm sure, do you have like a link in your bio or something like that on your Instagram too?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Yeah, sweet. And what are you excited about? Like, have you got anything coming up in the near future, or the future in the, in your world, carnivore world, or anything?
No, isn't that sad? I should
That's
have.
terrible.
I
No.
know. I I don't have anything exciting. I'm not like you. I'm not a planner. No. I'm excited I'm excited to watch what you have planned for the future. But just keep doing what I'm doing, like just doing more of the coaching, the group coaching stuff, and just posting about my journey online. I don't have like a master plan. I'm such a bad planner. You'll have to teach me how to plan better. But I'm
Oh,
definitely like
yeah.
a fly by the seat of your pants, just do whatever, see what happens kind of person.
I love that. That's me. I'm just really good at making it look like I have it all together, but
Okay.
I figure stuff out every day. Yeah, absolutely. But I think keeping it simple and just moving towards and sharing what you're doing is just like, that's incredibly impactful. Like, it's enough, because from me doing this, my life has changed forever, and I no longer have to think about this thing as solved. So I think that if we can impact one person, and it's a lot more than one person that we impact, but just one person to change their life, then gosh, that ripple effect is huge. So yeah, I love what you're doing. And guys, I highly recommend checking Jessalyn's stuff out. Before we go, what's your message to the world?
Oof, my message to the world. I would say just question question things, ask questions. If something is not right in your life, like ask questions and find answers for yourself. Don't just listen to what people are saying, but like look into it, ask questions, do research, just think critically and take your life into your own hands because you only get one. So so do it.
Love that. I tried to do a mic drop on one of my last ones, but then it just screwed everything up and I couldn't say anything for the rest. So just imagine a mic drop. Jess, thanks so much for coming on. It's been awesome to chat.
Thanks for having me.
You know what? You're a legend. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to listen to this episode or watch it if you're on YouTube. It means the world to me. And there's plenty more where this came from as well. So if you'd like to see more content or listen to more podcast content, then you can just hit subscribe on YouTube. If you're on Spotify or iTunes or the other things, 5-star rating goes a very, very long way and would be forever grateful. For any of the resources and links mentioned, you can head over to rorybland.com and you can check out my exclusive newsletter at rorybland.com/newsletter. Thank you again, and I can't wait for you to check out the next one.